Hey, Noah.
Hey, Joshua.
Wow, we haven't done one of these in a while.
I know.
You know, I realized we haven't done one in a while, and we got this review from someone that was basically, it's a very nice review, except it ended with a total put down on our shorts, that they were too long and boring.
Hit or miss.
Is that what it said? I don't remember, but
something like that.
I felt a little bit.
There's some gems in there, but mostly just
a
lot of gas.
which is entirely true, but it hurt a little bit, and so
It's all right. We asked for reviews, Josh.
yeah. But I did put that review generator together, and no one's used it.
What a dick.
So what's new with you, man?
I've been sick for the last 2.5 weeks.
You and half of the fucking city,
It's
and in fact, you
insane.
and in our entire family.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to reveal who patient X is, but my second wave of being sick was I can pinpoint the person, and from that person, pretty much got everybody around me sick, and everybody was sick, and everybody is sick right now. It's disgusting.
And
Now I have a lingering cough that just won't go away. I feel fine.
That's exactly where I am. It's really awful, and I've had shows every night this week, and
Yeah.
I've got a show in Holland tomorrow already. Yeah, tomorrow, and I hope that I'm not going to go into a coughing fit in the middle of my stand-up set.
It's horrible.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Have sympathy for us.
You're probably sick yourself.
Yeah, it's true. It's funny because we did the third episode of our Comedy Café Berlin live show last night, a German stand-up, and we had a decent crowd there, but you could definitely tell that everyone was feeling a little bit under the weather.
A little rusty here and there.
Yeah, like all of the comedians, and I just had this, you don't notice because it's just kind of like the natural ambiance, but I definitely at one point just tuned into the fact that there was just coughing in the audience like all the time. And I was the part of me was like, oh fuck, this is going to be shitty for the recording. And then I realized that, A, there's nothing you can do, and B, fucking everyone's sick.
They Radio Speetkauf recorded I guess a week and a half ago at CCB, and I couldn't watch the show because I was coughing so hard.
Oh shit.
So there it is. I was being kind to their recording. Nice. Anyways, my throat is not sore, it's just raw from coughing.
I know.
And my ribs I have like a pretty good ab situation going on right now because of the cough.
Oh, is that right? I wish I had that. I could use that. Could really use that. Oh, man. Yeah, it's both kids are, the fucking 6-week-old is not, she's not full on sick because she's getting mother's milk, so she's got all those wonderful antibodies coming in, but she's definitely, just a little bit. And then our 2.5-year-old is full on sick once again.
You know what I was thinking?
Yeah.
If I was like 85 years old, 90 years old, and I got what I just had, I'd probably be dead.
That's why they say old people and kids should get the flu shot.
Yeah, but it's just insane that I get this every year, pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't gotten it this bad.
No, I haven't gotten it this bad in a while.
But, I recover, and I will recover. Pretty much unscathed, but
why do you think influenza, the flu, was like such a deadly disease?
I don't know.
It kind of still is.
It's the modern age. I
Ain't
just
fucking
feel like,
around.
Yeah, it's just insane. But I can't imagine an 85-year-old frail man coughing that hard without just breaking every single bone in the body.
That's probably exactly what happens.
And for doing what? How did I get that? Because I hung out with some friends? That sucks, man.
Well, that's why old people don't have friends.
That's true. But I have to say, when our grandma was in the senior home.
Yes. Now, which one? American side or German side?
German side.
Okay.
I don't think you were there at that time, but I got a horrible stomach flu from the senior home. Mm-hmm. And it was bad. This was maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've expelled anything from my body quite ferociously as I did back then. And That I got from old people, and I can't imagine like if I had if they had what I had, they all probably like they probably lost a generation.
Was that the really shitty old folks
Yes.
home?
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Oh, that was a horrible, dark place.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
There was this one time where, do you remember this?
Yeah,
where I went there, and our mother went off to take care of our grandma and our Oma. And you and I don't know why I think my mother had to clean, our mother had to clean something up. I think that's what it was.
I don't remember that
They
part,
basically,
but...
for this huge, like 70 bed facility, they had like 2 people on staff at the time. And I think our Oma had a bathroom accident of some kind. And so our mother was helping clean that up.
That place was just miserable.
And so you and I were waiting downstairs in the lobby area. And this random old guy came and was like asking us for help because he literally couldn't find any of the caretakers.
Yeah.
And then
I remember running up and down the stairs like looking for someone.
Right, exactly. I went back with him to his room, and you were running around trying to find someone. And I think eventually he just went in his room and like fell asleep again. But it was it felt like one of those like creepy zombie
dystopic
arcade games where like, you know, Resident Evil, where you're in the abandoned facility
and you just see some like wandering zombie mumbling to itself.
Because that was what would happen so I brought the guy upstairs and he went in his room, and I wasn't going to follow him into his room, and I think he just lay down and went back to sleep. And then across the hall, this old woman came out, and she was like calling for someone, asking for someone, and I was like, I don't work here. B, I don't speak German well enough to understand a word that this old person who doesn't speak very well right now anyways.
You think the orderlies there probably like just like wait for families to come visit and then take their breaks?
Yeah, probably. I think that's probably exactly what happens.
Oh, thank goodness. I do not envy, I mean, anybody who works in an old folks home, like they got a tough job. I do not envy their job, but it's so like I hear so many stories of these people like abusing old people.
Yeah. It's real bad.
It's so bad. But then our Oma was moved to
she was moved to a place that was
like an alternative senior home.
Well, it was essentially like what do you call it?
A VG.
Exactly.
Shared flat.
A collective, essentially. So everyone bought into it. You know, you actually bought your spot there, and because it wasn't like going through this private corporation, essentially. Yeah, that place was nice. The place she was...
And the people working there were super cool.
Right.
Anyways.
Yeah, man, I hope I don't get old. I really fucking... And you know, I've talked... I think we've talked about this here before. I don't even remember. But I have a fucking responsibility to get old now because I've got kids.
Yeah, right.
That fucking sucks.
Well,
I mean, no one wants to die young, but you know, like you don't really give a shit until you've got people.
Exactly. Well, you know what? When I get that old that I have to be in a home, I'm just gonna make it a big fucking adventure. No clothes ever.
Are you gonna? By the time you are in the place where you need to be put in a home, you are not gonna have the facilities to be able to make that kind of.
I'm just gonna drill it into my head while I'm still lucid that a senior home is like a big escape room. And then it'll just be baked into my senility, right? That like I just every day I have to escape.
I hope by the time
like
I'm
12
old,
monkeys or some shit.
the Singularity is a bunch of bullshit garbage.
Yeah.
But there is a part of me that hopes that by the time I'm old, that they can just take my brain and put it in a robot. Just whatever, download all of me and just put it in a fucking robot.
Yeah.
Just so I won't have that like old broken body. That is the most depressing thing is just seeing old people. It makes me
vegetating.
Incredibly,
yeah. Well,
or wherever, like walking down the street. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Fucking I mean, it's not just annoying because it's like don't remind me of my mortality.
Yeah, and hurry up.
Jesus Christ.
They stop in the middle of the sidewalk. I'm walking here.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a cool thing, actually. They did some studies on, in fact, I think a couple European countries do this. They combine like kindergarten or childcare with
old care.
And it turns out like on average their lives are more active and they live longer.
Right. The kids, on the other hand, fucking depressed as all shit.
Yeah, and they have stomach flus and shit.
Speaking of kids, I had this crazy adorable moment with my with the older daughter yesterday, because I have a couple different pairs of glasses.
Yeah.
And I have like just a regular kind of work a day pair that like these flexible frames that I don't, the kids can play around with and wrestle, and I don't have to worry about them. But I've got my like, weirdo crazy round glasses that I wear for shows, like my show glasses, whatever. Yeah. And I have gone out to shows often enough now that last night I was getting ready to go out and put her nicer clothes on that weren't stained with baby spit up and whatever else, food.
Good
and
looks.
Put on my show glasses and said goodbye to my 2-year-old, good night and everything. And she goes, "Papa, show?" Which is something she says all the time, but I hadn't told her yet that I was going out to a show.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, how did you know that?" And then I realized it was because I put the glasses on. She knows now.
She's connecting it. She's connecting the dots. That's adorable.
It was really, really cute, and just a tiny bit depressing. You get that like with a cat's cradle,
Sure.
When you're coming home soon, I don't know when.
But you don't need to sing.
But we'll be together.
We
then.
don't have to do this.
Yeah, we'll get together.
Please.
Then.
Good grief. Yeah. I like you preface this entire story with this really adorable moment with my oldest daughter. You refuse to say her name.
I don't want to say her name anymore. Can I tell you exactly why? Because of this crazy situation that I got in with this tweet that I did. I talk about this on?
No, we haven't talked about this.
Oh, we need to talk about this.
All right, we can go another 5 minutes. We might need 20.
Last summer, when the whole Feel the Burn thing kind of started, the hashtag. It started last spring, but I think it really started picking up over the summer. And a good friend of mine growing up, who we follow each other on Twitter, he put out this string of like totally ridiculous tongue-in-cheek Feel the Burn hashtags, like making puns. Yeah, making using burn in other situations. So I replied and put together my own string of them, and was just basically replacing like burn in various movie titles and songs with BERN. And one of the movies that I used was Mississippi Burning. And whatever. I mean,
racist.
This was last July.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, whenever it was last month, Mississippi had their primary, and full-on fucking idiot Bernie Sanders supporter or supporters started using the Mississippi Burning, BERN, Mississippi Burning hashtag to try to like get the vote for Bernie Sanders. And that is fucking insensitive.
Yeah.
Because now you're actually trying to support the candidate and you're not using it ironically or whatever.
Right.
And you're really glossing over the historical, racial implications of that tweet. And people rightfully got a little upset about it. But of course, because of this insane thing going on between Hillary supporters and Bernie Sanders supporters, the fucking Hillary Clinton supporters went full on,
relentless on that.
Oh my God. And someone went through the chain of these Mississippi Burning hashtag, and lo and behold, I was the first one to use that hashtag way back in fucking July. All right. But of course, no one was paying attention to what I was doing. They don't give a shit about the context, of course. So I started getting like, not full on harassed, but borderline.
Like hate tweets.
Yeah. Getting a lot of hateful tweets for starting. Literally, they're blaming me for starting the hashtag, for starting that trend. And I started like replying to some people, but like, hey, that was clearly a tongue-in-cheek tweet from last July. Like, there's no way. And then I realized it was just completely futile enterprise to try to correct these people. They don't give a shit. But then what ended up happening is that some fucking dumb young millennial columnist for the Washington Post put together, had column space to fill, and put together a whole thing about the Mississippi burning hashtag. And it dedicates a good 5 or 6 paragraphs to the origin of it, which is me. And it was so insane the way she like looped her words around to try to like fill as much space as possible, just caveat after caveat until like the words don't even mean anything anymore. Basically acknowledging the fact that it was that I was joking around and using the film title and blah, 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 but still managing to kind of wrestle the words in such a way that I was still being blamed for being a racist. And then this was like now a week later after, and things had kind of died down, and then they just picked right the fuck back up again.
Right.
It was so crazy. It was so crazy, and this is now something similar happened to me a while ago. Not anywhere near as intense, but I have been a lot more careful because some of these people who have so much fucking time on their hands and whatever, whether I like it or not, there's already a lot of information about me on the internet, and you connect dots and whatever. Like, there's just literally at this point, there's nothing I can do about people being able to dox me, essentially. And so
you're just being protective.
I'm being protective.
Protecting your family, your family man guy.
Anyway, wow, that was really fucking crazy. That's just coming back to me.
I can see your wheels are spinning right now.
Man, oh man, it's intense. Because who the fuck? I've got like 480 followers on Twitter. I'm fucking nobody. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I was, I might as well have donned
dragged through the mud,
the white cloak, and marched with the KKK.
Oh man, I saw like you had sort of responded to this journalist in quotes from, I guess it was Wall Street Journal or
which one? I don't know who you're talking about
now. The column that you had talked about.
Oh, the Washington Post.
That was Washington Post, right? You had sort of responded with a tweet to her, and then like her response to you was like some like uber academic.
Well, no, her response, and this was actually what really pissed me off about her column, because if you take the, ridiculous trying to fluff out the column with me and a couple other people who had nothing to do with this, like the crux of her column, that people were being very ahistorical and not acknowledging the racial implications of Mississippi burning, I agree with that, and I think she had the right to say something about that.
Yeah.
But my problem with it was not just that she somehow roped me into it, but she also prefaced the entire column with saying, basically, like, anybody who disagrees with me is just proving my point.
Yeah.
And that indefensible bullshit drives me up the fucking wall. Don't put yourself in this position where you are not allowed to be criticized, but anybody who criticizes you is automatically making your point for you. That is lazy.
Sanctimonious.
It's just fucking bullshit. Like, if you've got something to say and you've got an opinion about something, you need to be able to defend it against whoever. If someone's making an asinine argument, fine, ignore them. But if someone is making a legitimate concern that, like, hey, you used my tweet as the origin for this when it was so clearly tongue-in-cheek and joking, you can't say that I am just being another Bernie bro.
Yeah.
Fucking
let it out, Josh. Anyways, my point was,
yeah,
I was just watching the whole thing sort of happen, and I was like, do I get involved?
No.
I see the struggles.
Away.
I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to make some quips here and there, and then I'm going to dip in, dip out. Anyways, look at this.
Yeah.
We done did it.
Hitting the 20-minute mark. Sorry to anybody who's bored.
Sorry to that one person who
bored with our too long piffle shorts.
There's some gems in here.
I think we might as well just let the cat out of the bag.
Sure.
I think the pending scheduling at Comedy Café Berlin.
Yeah, sure.
The plan going forward for piffle is that we're going to go back to live shows.
There you go.
I know a lot of you are going to be happy about that. We are going to essentially take what Noah and I are doing right now and just put it live on stage. So
with a little bit more structure.
of course, we're gonna make it fun. We're not gonna just dick around completely. But it's not. We're not gonna have the full-on produced, written live shows with music and games and blah blah blah. We'll have a guest on occasionally, probably just one or two. Maybe if we're feeling really adventurous and we've got someone cool, we'll have a musical guest on. But mostly, it's just gonna be Noah and I.
Shooting the shit, getting people involved
on stage. So potentially April, probably May.
Yes,
we'll be back with live shows.
Watch this space.
Exactly, and definitely kommt vorbei.
That's
for that,
German.
For come on over. And in the meantime, April 10th is our next Tatort auf Englisch.
That's right. You should definitely come to that.
And I would reserve tickets soon because they're going quick.
Zippity-doo-dah.
Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for being patient with us. Sorry we haven't been around, although I guess some of you are not sorry about that.
Let's be all right. Okay, we'll speak to you guys next week, hopefully. Maybe if we get around to it. If not, fuck you. See you later.